The old bar on the outskirts of town was a place most people avoided. It had a reputation for being haunted, and the locals whispered tales of ghostly apparitions and eerie occurrences that had plagued the place for decades. But for a group of adventurous friends, the bar's ominous history only added to its allure. One dark and stormy night, as rain lashed against the windows and thunder rumbled ominously in the distance, 5 friends gathered at the edge of town. Their names were Jack, Sarah, Mike, Lisa, and Chris. They had heard all the stories about the haunted bar and decided it was time to see for themselves if the legends were true. With flashlights in hand, they pushed open the creaking, rusted door and stepped into the dimly lit interior. The air was thick with the scent of damp wood and something far more sinister. Cobwebs hung from the corners, and dust danced in the beams of their flashlights as they explored the desolate space. The bar was like a time capsule from another era, frozen in time. Dusty bottles lined the shelves, and faded photographs of long-forgotten patrons adorned the walls. The friends made their way to the bar counter, its wood worn and weathered, and the glasses behind it stained with age. As they settled onto the stools, a sudden chill swept through the room, causing them to shiver despite their jackets. The lights flickered, and the air grew heavy with an oppressive silence that seemed to close in around them. Just as they were beginning to doubt their decision to enter the haunted bar, they heard it, a faint, ghostly whisper that sent shivers down their spines. "Get out!" It hissed, a voice from the beyond, barely audible. Sarah, the bravest of the group, scoffed at the warning. "It's just the wind," she said, trying to dismiss the eerie encounter. But her confidence wavered when the glasses on the counter started to rattle and the bar stools began to spin on their own. The friends exchanged terrified glances and scrambled to their feet, knocking over their flashlights in their haste to escape. The flickering lights cast eerie shadows on the walls as they bolted for the door, but it wouldn't budge. Panic set in as they realized they were trapped inside the haunted bar. Desperation took hold as they searched for another way out, but the bar seemed to twist and warp, its layout changing before their very eyes. The ghostly whisper grew louder, more insistent, and the room filled with a chilling mist that enveloped them, making it impossible to see more than a few feet ahead. One by one, the friends began to disappear into the mist, their terrified screams echoing in the darkness. Jack, the last one standing, watched in horror as his friends were swallowed by the supernatural fog. He knew he had to find a way out, but the bar seemed determined to keep him there. As he stumbled through the ever-shifting maze of the haunted bar, the ghostly whispers grew louder and more malevolent. The room seemed to come alive with unseen forces, and he could feel cold skeletal hands reaching out to grab him. Just when he thought all hope was lost, a faint glimmer of light appeared in the distance. Jack followed it, pushing through the mist and stumbling into a small, forgotten room at the back of the bar. There, he found an old, dusty mirror with a cracked frame. Desperation gave him the courage to look into the mirror, and as he did, he saw the reflection of a dark, twisted figure standing behind him. Its eyes glowed with malevolence, and its skeletal hand reached out, trying to pull him in. With a burst of adrenaline, Jack turned and sprinted toward the mirror, crashing through it with all his might. He tumbled out onto the wet ground outside, gasping for breath and covered in cuts and bruises. The haunted bar had released its grip on him. Jack never saw his friends again, and he never returned to the haunted bar. The legend of the sinister place lived on, a chilling tale told in hushed whispers by those who dared to speak of it. And as the years passed, the bar remained a dark and foreboding presence on the outskirts of town, waiting for the next group of curious souls to enter its cursed doors.